Hey guys, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We are here live to talk about Survivor 20 Heroes versus Villains.
Heroes versus villains. Season 20 has got to keep us going now that we don't have season 40.
I know. I also was just thinking when I did Heroes versus Villains, I remembered our spoilers song. And I'm like, we aren't going to get to sing a spoilers song on Big Brother this summer. Or maybe
yes,
we are. It's
will,
unclear.
David. We will. I have hope. I mean, the producers have been working on it. There's a cast.
Yeah.
I think they're probably just figuring out how to make it work.
Yes, we were just talking before we started rolling that like it's tentatively on the schedule. CBS says that there's a quick turnaround with Big Brother. So like fingers crossed we get something later this summer, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like all of Hollywood is trying to figure out like how do you shoot something with just like a few people spaced out from each other?
Yeah, truly.
They can figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's possible.
Well, anyway, we digress. Yes. Let's talk Survivor 20.
Survivor 20. Okay. Coming back from this tribal with the heroes.
Yeah. Cerie's gone. And
they got Cirie out. Good.
It's move. JT's fault, pretty much. And so he's kind of saying to everybody, like, had to do it before the merge. Like, Cerie's too good. You never know who she's hooking up with on the other tribe when we get to the merge. Did it for the team, you guys. This wasn't about me.
This wasn't about me, y'all. I did it for the team. What? Who buys that? Who believes that ever?
Right. I'm sure nobody, but of course Colby's grateful because, you know, his name was kind of on the chopping block. And Amanda and Rupert are pissed that, you know, JT has betrayed them in this vote.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the state of the Heroes tribe.
Yeah, he's trying to make amends with Amanda. He's like, no, I promise. And she's kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
So
she's giving him a hard look like, okay, JT.
Not really buying it. Not so sure about him.
Right. Then we go to Villains Beach.
Okay. We got some Dragon Slayer Chi. Is that what this is?
I mean, it sounds like some kind of like specialty drink at Starbucks. Like, I don't know what's
right.
Like a Game of Thrones, you know, integration at Starbucks.
Right. It could be. But I love that he gave it its own name because he clearly isn't actually doing Tai Chi. He's like, it's my own version of movement.
Oh, yes.
So like, so there's no actual, you don't know what you're doing, basically.
No, you're just making it up as you go, which feels very Coach to me. Like, I don't know Coach that well as a character, but it feels right for him.
Yes. Where he's like, just move your arm like this. And flex your muscle. And you're like,
make sure all of your muscles are flexed. What? Okay.
So good. But literally everyone is there except one person.
Yep. Russell is off still looking for that idol. I guess he's just been allowed to look for it for days. And that's been okay. And he's he's within view of everybody, right? Like there's a great shot where they're like, they have a close up of the Tai Chi or the Dragon Slayer Chi. And then they zoom in on Russell down the beach. Yeah. Like not even fully hidden by a tree. Like you can see the lower half of his body just standing there.
Yeah, and it's like they're the tribe that's like no idol in play, don't look for it, and they all know Russell's looking for it.
Yeah,
so it's like they're not really letting him, but they are letting him.
They are letting him, and he finds it. And it's funny because he's like, he just kind of like dusts off some dirt on like the edge of the roots, and it's been uncovered for a while, but he was just digging in the wrong spot. And he's like, this is what I was afraid of, that it was just right in front of my face for 3 days. And it like, sure enough, it was right there. But he's got the idol. You know, I don't know if anybody saw him. They didn't show any footage of anybody like looking over and busting him or anything, but they know he's been looking for it. And that has put him on people's radar. Now it seems like he has it and nobody knows that he actually has it.
Yeah, but they're assuming that he does, or at least he's dead to them that he's even tried, right? That's at least the vibe of like, we don't know if he has it, but
it doesn't matter if he has it. We're still going after him. Yeah.
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 He says, after he finds it, he says, Rob's not in control of this game. And it's just like, Russell, what does this have to do with Rob?
He has such a complex about Rob. Like, you can tell.
A complex. It's so good, and it only becomes juicier as we continue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we continue to reward.
David, this challenge.
Sarah.
David.
I can't with the physicality of this season. Like, what is this? Episode 4, episode 5? And like, has a person not gotten injured in an episode so far? I'm not sure. Like, it just feels like
this is for chocolate. This kills me when we're in the middle of this and people are just like getting slammed left and right. And I'm like, chocolate, you guys.
Chocolate. Remember, it's just
not
chocolate.
Worth your entire body.
Oh, well, Jeff teases them at the top. Yeah. You know, he's like, oh, here's a little preview. Here's what you're playing for. Yeah. Have a little bite of chocolate. The villains are going nuts. And they're like, oh, Jerry's like, this is what I've been craving on the island. And she's so excited. Colby, Rupert, JT, they don't want to touch that chocolate. They're not interested.
I don't even taste it.
No.
Now, what's up with that? Because I honestly would be like, oh, that's perfect. I just need one bite of chocolate. That would probably get me through for days.
Yeah.
Right? Honestly, I don't want a feast of chocolate. I just want one bite of chocolate. Like I want good sugar pop.
Yes. Like I thought when he was like chocolate, the next thing was going to be peanut butter, you know, like something with a little more substance to get you through, but it's just straight chocolate cupcakes, chocolate candies.
No, just chocolate. Oh, okay.
Okay. But the villains are going gaga over this chocolate. And they're saying they're kind of responding to like the heroes being like, we're just ready for the challenge, Jeff. Let's go. And the villains are like, we're always ready. You know, we come ready, but we'll eat the chocolate. That doesn't mean we're not ready.
Yeah, we're always ready. The interaction though between Colby and Jeff was like, whoa.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh, Jeff got pissed. First off, did he call Colby Colton? I swear he was like, Colton, no chocolate for you? Because I was like,
oh my God.
What? I might have just misheard, but I was like, did he just completely forget his name?
Right.
This is not his first season, but okay. Right. And then he's like, I just want to get to it. And he was like, yeah, we'll get to it when I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Jeff get like that visibly annoyed with the contestant. And it wasn't even that bad. Like Colby was just like, let's do this. Let's get to the challenge. Yeah. And Jeff was like, we'll go when I'm ready.
Right. He just had his game face on. But I think Jeff does get upset when they don't give them like sound bites, you know, just like, we gotta talk. We gotta like make a television show here.
I got a job to do.
Stand here like this, like that doesn't help me in my show. So I don't think Jeff appreciates that stuff.
Right. But the challenge is that there's 3 people who are like shooters on a platform, and then 3 people who are catchers down in a pit. And the catchers are trying to like get these coconuts to the throwers, and then the throwers are trying to land it into a basketball hoop type thing. And the people in the pit,
coconuts?
Were they coconuts or ball or football type things?
Yeah, I guess they were like some sort of makeshift. I thought they were a makeshift football. Maybe they're made of coconut.
They did look like makeshift footballs for sure. Like they were that shape. Yeah. But the people in the pit are straight up fighting each other. Like,
oh my gosh.
It is not respectful whatsoever.
No, not at all. They are like hurling people into platforms and I just like body slamming, like throwing
and
them
face
down.
checking them into, like side posts.
Yeah, that Rupert moved to Jerry when it looked like she broke her nose.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And then he's like, I didn't mean to. I was like, oh, I don't care what you meant to do.
Yeah, right. You still did it. Oh my God. But the first person who really eats it, and this wasn't like a super physical thing, it was kind of an accident, it was nobody's fault, but James like loses his footing and you kind of see his knee pop out of place a little bit, or say goes a little bit the wrong direction too far, and he's like down for the count. Medical has to come in. They're looking at the knee, they're worried that he like stretched the muscle or the tendon or something too far. He tries to get up and walk it off, his knee buckles again, so he's out of the challenge. I'm thinking, exactly. Like I had that face. I was like, don't even show me this. Like, please, I'm not interested. But then I thought, okay, Colby's going to swap in. Nope. They're just out a player now. I was like, that is savage, right? Survivor producer.
I was like, Jeff, there's an extra man sitting there. You said someone had to sit out, and then you're like, oh, well, now you're down a man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But so we got someone injured, and then I thought we were about to have more injuries because they were just so rough.
Brutal.
Heroes do score first.
Yeah.
But ultimately, villains win.
Yeah, because you only need 2 baskets to win. Yeah. Like, it's a pretty quick challenge.
I loved Rob's move. Did you notice that he was like, he would hold a ball and then he would throw it and knock the ball back? And I'm like, yes, there you go.
Yeah, JT was doing a little bit of that too, which was like funny that was like an interesting strategy. It's smart, like if you see a ball coming towards your basket, toss another ball out, knock it off,
Yeah. That was great.
So yeah, I think it's Jerry who ends up scoring the winning basket for the villains, and she's the one who wanted chocolate the most in the first place. So she is like elated that they get to go on this reward. And the, heroes losing streak continues.
They are just like befuddled. They just don't get it. They don't understand. And the villains are just like, ha, 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 we just keep winning.
Just living it up, having the best time on Survivor.
As they saunter off to their chocolate feast. And now this feast was ridiculous, David.
Sarah.
Again, I'm already like, what? We're going just for chocolate.
It's like worse than a 4-year-old's birthday. It is just a table full of sweets, not a piece of salt in sight. It's just, like I said to say before, cakes, cupcakes, candies. Like, it's just straight sugar, and that's not gonna feel good if you eat too much of it.
No, you have to pace yourself. And it always blows my mind when I see Survivor players do this, because they always do it. Doesn't matter if it's pizza or like meat. Like whenever you just like overindulge in something you haven't had in a long time, especially when it's just sugar, there's nothing of substance there. Like, just like slow your roll. But of course, Jerry can't. Now I was like analyzing the chocolate because I was like, what would I have eaten? And I do feel like, I mean, I couldn't obviously tell, but it looked like maybe there were some like chocolate covered nuts.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
Because there were like little chocolates that could have been chocolate covered something. And I'm like, there, at least you get some protein in you. Like, that's where you need to go.
Right.
But, I just see like cupcakes being shoved into their mouths is what I'm saying.
Oh my God. Yes. So then they go, they go for a nice swim in this like gorgeous, like cave. Rob calls it a hole in the earth with like this beautiful clear water. They're all swimming and having a nice time. But Russell and Parvati are back up at the tent, enjoying their chocolate feast and chatting. And Russell informs Parvati that he has the idol. And she's thrilled to know this because she's kind of loosely working with Russell. She knows she's in danger, and she knows that she can use this to her advantage in the game.
Yeah, and he's phrasing it like, this means we can blindside whoever we want. Like, and he says, girl, ride my coattails. And I love that she was like, I don't ride coattails.
Yeah, she's like, I don't do that, but we can work together.
Because she's like full on Parvati up to that point where she's like, ha ha ha, giggle, 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 hee hee hee, we have the idol. And then she's like, no, I don't ride coattails. Back it up.
Right. And then I think there was I forget how this came up. Like, was Russell telling her that she was still a big target or something? Because then she has this great line in her confessional where she's like, I don't get, like, for some reason, I'm seen as this evil mastermind in the game. Like, what is everybody talking about? And I'm like, yeah, Parvati, that's how you won Survivor. Like, you have a reputation. Don't pretend you don't know that. But I loved that line.
What? Yeah. But then Russell tells somebody else, David, and this is one of the best scenes ever.
It's so good. Yeah, he pulls Coach over, and Coach is very honored that Russell would trust him with this information. Coach is so serious, and like we've already seen him crying, doing not Tai Chi. Like, he is just a weird human. And true to form, he gets down on a knee and lets Russell knight him. Like, what is going on?
Oh, God. It's so good. The two of them together, I'm just like, how did we find these people? These people are like one of a kind. And the two of them are standing on a beach together, just like doing their crazy. And I was like, this is television gold. But yeah, so Coach is like, dude, I wanted to work with Rob. But the fact that Russell gives him this knowledge is just so deeply important to Coach that he feels like this is an honor. And so, yes, he has to kneel, and Russell knights him. And then, of course, Russell takes that to be like, yes, I'm a king. I got to knight somebody. And
I mean, Russell was a little bit like, I'm knighting Coach? Like, how did it end up this way? But then he's like, I'm the king. You're right. He's like, I'm the king of Survivor, you know?
He just totally like buys into it, eats into it. And he's like, yeah, that's right. So he's got his little crew, and he's selling it like they're going to blindside whoever they want, which, you know, we know who that is because, of course, he can't stop bringing up Rob's name.
Oh, yes, exactly.
I think this might have been the time that he was like, it's personal. And I was like, oh my God, he actually said it. It's personal between him and Rob.
It's so weird that they're just two alphas that like will never get along. They can't exist in the same tribe for long, you know?
No. Yep.
But then we go back to Hero Beach, and Amanda is like pretty emotional about the James thing. Like she's saying crying. Like, I'm like his little sister, and just fully crying that he might be out of the game now.
Yeah, she because he was being held back after the challenge. And we see medical does like kind of look at him, but we don't really know what's the verdict on his leg. So
they do say like we're worried he might be too injured to continue, and it's like a cliffhanger. You know, like is he coming back?
Yeah. So Amanda's crying. Other people, Rupert, and they're like, it's been too long. You know, he's probably gone or whatever. But eventually, James shows up, inching his way down the beach. Hobble, hobble, hobble.
Hobbling. Like maybe he is too injured to come back. You know, like he could barely walk down the beach. And he's trying to play it off like he's the ultimate tough guy, you know?
Yeah.
And so he's like, whatever. It's like, it's nothing, you know, it's just like a flesh wound, you know? And he's very much trying to play it off like this is no big deal. I just got to like loosen it up a little bit.
He was like, no one knows what's wrong with it. It just doesn't work. And I was like, James, that's not how legs work.
Right.
You're injured.
Yeah.
You can't walk. He's like, I don't know. It just doesn't work right now. Like,
well,
that's not what.
From Candace's point of view, James has a lot of dead weight. Okay. She's like, if we lose the next immunity challenge, to me, it's clear. James has got to go. No sympathy.
We don't have room for him. No, we don't have room for dead weight, and he's a lot of dead weight. I was like, that's the best quote, Candace. That was amazing.
So we do go to immunity next, right?
Yes, let's play for immunity. Oh, it's a blindfolded collar challenge. I can't get enough of these. They're so good.
It's so fun. Yeah. So they choose Jerry as the villain's collar and James as the hero's collar. Of course, that makes sense for James because he can't walk. So put him on a bench, just yelling. He's both of those things at this point.
Right.
And it's really kind of neck and neck. Jerry and James are both doing an equally good job, like getting their players to the pieces and getting them back, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty close, but I just love all of the cuts of people bumping into each other. Rob is literally walking and covering his lower region. They're just like falling over each other. They're like running into it. I just love it so much. All of those cutaways are great for me. But the heroes are just like a smidge ahead. Like they get their piece back while the villains are still sort of like getting their last piece.
Yeah, right. So the heroes once again have a lead in an immunity challenge.
A puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
David.
Let's start on a puzzle. And we all know how puzzles go. The villains win the puzzles and they do it again.
It again.
Like it's the same pattern over and over again. Rob is in charge of the puzzle and then the villains win the puzzle. Like that's just how it works.
It is. I mean, I even saw like Russell was speaking up more, like Sandra was yelling at one point, but like even when they sort of act out, it still doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Rob's going to like kick a puzzle piece or lift it up over his head or whatever he has to do. And he's going to make that puzzle work. Then once again, heroes lose their lead and villains take it.
I know. I will say when Sandra was like, I told you that piece was supposed to go on the bottom. And the people from the sidelines were like, okay, work as a team. And she's like, I'm just saying I said. I was like, no wonder they always sit Sandra out of the challenges.
Yeah.
Because like, if that's your like team playerness, like, no, thank you. You can sit on the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no little snippy, but yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Villains fly through the puzzle. Oh, and Jeff says like this is the 4 out of 5 immunity wins.
It's a blowout. Like I'm embarrassed for the heroes. Like this is not good. You would think it would be a little more even, and this is like kind of shocking that we have 20 returning player or 18, I guess. I think it's 18 returning players this season.
Right.
Whatever it is, they're all returners. They're all Survivor experts at this point, and it is very lopsided.
It's so lopsided, but isn't it funny that we're like so rooting for the villains?
Yeah.
And like this is hilarious that the heroes can't get it together. And it's like
they're so dysfunctional, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna root for the people who can get their stuff together.
I mean, villains are dysfunctional in their own way, but yet, yeah, when it comes down to a challenge, they're all about it.
Well, we get back to camp on the Heroes Beach. We don't really see much from, if anything, from the villains for the rest of the episode because they're probably just having a grand old time. But on Hero Beach, it's split again, right? So this time it's Colby and Tom obviously want James out, and they've kind of got Candace singing that tune as well because she says James is dead weight. So those three kind of are saying James is the smart move. But then James, Rupert, and Amanda want Tom out because they've been trying to get Tom out. The only reason he's still here is because he had a hidden immunity idol, you know, last tribal. So they're still kind of on the Tom train. JT finds himself in the middle again. Like the way this man has positioned himself is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's a little tricky. It's getting difficult.
It is. You're right.
He sees that once again, he's in the middle and he likes to work with these people. He also feels safe to work with these people. But if he, whatever way he votes shows his cards, like he's not really able to sneak by anymore.
Especially now because we see, like everybody knows that JT's kind of in the middle because just at the last tribal, JT flipped and worked with the other side. So I think everybody knows that he's talking to both sides. And we see Colby, Rupert, and Tom all kind of working on JT, understanding that he's the swing vote or, you know, one of the swing votes, because we also do see a little scene with JT and Candace where they're kind of saying like, we could pick who goes home.
Right.
But people are on to JT and they know he's a crucial vote. And we get that confessional from Colby where he's like, JT's a flip-flopper. Like, I kind of need him for this vote, but he's shifty and he's playing whatever hand suits him at the time. And so, yeah, you're right that people are like catching on.
Yeah, which is accurate. That's a perfect read of JT's game. But on the other hand, Amanda's like I'm just trusting, like JT's telling me he's with us. He's voting with us, but like, I don't know if I can trust him. And I'm just like, hoping that he does to give us the numbers.
Yeah, because she has no other choice. You know, she's not going to recruit Colby and Tom over to her onto her side to get Tom out. So, you know, they're at a point in this tribe where kind of whatever side JT decides to go with, that's going to be the side with the numbers moving forward. And the other side is like SOL.
Right. And it was interesting as we're like cutting around and we're seeing JT talk to everybody or everybody talk to JT. You can hear in his words how he's being different with everyone. So like when Rupert and Amanda are like, Tom, he's like, no, I'm with you. I got it. Yes, I'm voting Tom. Yes. And then when he's talking to Colby, he's like, James is the logical choice.
That makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. So I was like, oh, I see. Like he's nodding along, but he's not promising his vote.
And it's also like a little bit of an eye contact thing, you know, like early on in the episode, he's like looking straight at Amanda and he's like, I'm with you. Like, don't even worry about it. And then when he's talking to Colby, he's like, no, James, for sure. Yep. James. I get it.
Yeah, a little bit of that. So no wonder Colby's like, yeah, I see what he's up to. I get it.
Right. So going into tribal, obviously, you know, it's either James or Tom. That's the storyline of this episode.
Yeah.
And immediately, of course, it's a little bit about James's injury. He's insisting that this knee, it's not a problem.
It's
Jeff,
no
I
big
could
deal.
beat you. I could beat your niece in a race. I could beat you in a race, Jeff. Like, you better believe it. You know, he's very, again, like, this is James's personality, just like ultimate alpha tough guy, you know?
He literally is hobbling down the beach, cannot walk. But you say Jeff's niece could beat him. He's like, no, absolutely not.
That is the ultimate insult to his like masculinity or something. And he is going to defend it.
You're like, you're not making sense, but okay, I see where you're coming from.
Okay, James. Okay.
Yeah.
And he then, you know, tries to redirect, like, let's focus on somebody else. Let's focus on the people who couldn't just shut up and like, you know, be team players during the puzzle. Tom and Candace, you know, he's like calling them out by name.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. There's a lot of like name calling, like this person's keeping us weak. We'll win without this person. Like all this talk. And I kind of liked that. I think it was JT who summed it up of like, there's really no point in putting fingers or name calling who is to blame because we've all lost. Like we're all losing here, which really sums it up because they have just lost, lose after lose after lose. Who really can you blame? Like who's keeping the team strong?
Right. Like the idea is that you would have voted out the person who was to blame to keep your tribe strong, but vote out after vote out and you're still losing immunity challenges. So it's a community that is at fault, not an individual at this point. And James, go ahead.
Well, I think Tom said something about like, let's not pretend this is really just about your numbers. And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. And James kind of gets a good final thought where I was like, yeah, there's nothing more to say than that, where he's like, if you think that Tom is stronger than me, then vote me out. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it comes down to. You know, there's like really no sense in like trying to be logical or make better points. It just comes down to this man has a bum knee. So is he or is he not stronger than Tom or more valuable to the tribe than Tom?
But exactly, it comes down to who's valuable. Is he a number for you? Then he's valuable. And to that tight little group, that tight little alliance, they're like, he's our number. Like,
and you know what's interesting, Sarah, is
strong.
This is essentially the social game benefiting James when he is physically not
doesn't even believe in the social game.
He thinks it's a waste of time, and now here it is about to save his ass in the game. You know?
Yep. So yeah, we go to vote, and the only vote we see, which is the best one, Tom says, James, all mass, no class.
Yeah.
I was like, good one, buddy.
I love a rhyming zinger like that. Yeah. Yes. And we do see James write down Tom's name. We don't hear what he says.
I missed that.
Yeah. Okay. But we did see James write it down at least. And then we count the votes, and it's Tom, and it's Tom, and then it's James, and it's James. And it's interesting, like, the subtle differences with the way that they edit the votes. Like, I don't know if you are experiencing this, but this is my first time watching Heroes versus Villains. And I'm kind of used to, it would be Tom, and then James. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more used to like back and forth, like Tom, James. So when they read 2 Tom votes and then it was 2 Jameses in a row, I was like, whoa, are the rest of them James?
Yeah.
No. Then they go back to Tom. They don't even read the final vote, which is also Tom, because Tom is out.
Tom is bye-bye. Yeah. We knew it was going to happen. Tom just wasn't on the side of the numbers. Like, that little group is just a tight group.
Yeah, right. And ultimately, JT, like, didn't feel like, you know, he could betray that group twice in a row, I guess. He feels that they are going to, you know, bring him further in the game. Like, he's, I think, already, like, based on the last vote, he's already looking ahead to the merge. So he must be thinking like, I need to really solidify this group so that when we do make it to the merge, I've got some good people behind me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, JT's in an interesting place, but if you let Tom go, even though he would have loved to have worked with Tom, you're just leaving Colby. And what can Colby do by himself, you know? So it was just kind of the safest route for JT.
Yeah.
So I get it. You kind of have to go with the numbers at this point to keep yourself safe so you're not target number 1 next week.
Yeah, there you go.
Next vote out.
And the preview for next week, all we get is Rob and Russell are going after each other. They've both
Of course they are. We know it's coming.
Right. And I can't help but think like, I feel like the villains are going to tribal council next week because we didn't see 1 second of the Heroes tribe in the preview for next week. Like they are setting us up for the showdown between Rob and Russell, and I cannot wait for it.
It made me think because I was like, oh, are we already going to have villains at tribal? Like, why is that the preview? Or are you just teasing us because the Rob Russell thing is great? But yeah. The Heroes are just going to go back to tribal. Like,
right. I mean, good grief. Like, and I also thought, again, like, it's so funny for me to speculate and you to know what happened, but I'm starting to think like, wow, the Heroes are so down in numbers. Is there going to be a tribe swap or something? Or are they just going to go heroes and villains until we get to the merge? I don't know what happens. Don't tell me. Don't spoil it. But these are the thoughts that I'm cooking up in my head.
Yeah. Well, my memory with like little details. So every episode is like surprising again, because I just remember, I just know big picture stuff. I don't remember all what happened in each episode. So,
right.
But yes, just such a good season and so much more fun stuff to come.
Oh, I can't wait. It's been great so far.
It only gets better. Well, yay! Episode 5 down, and we have season 20 to keep us going. Just real quick, I want to mention to our patrons here that we're gonna play around with some new shows while we're in between waiting for Big Brother or Amazing Race or whatever we're gonna get. So this Monday at our normal 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we're gonna have a trivia game, some pop culture reality show, fun entertainment related trivia.
Yes.
Our friend who used to be a Big Brother producer is the one coming up with all the trivia questions.
How about that?
So that's a lot of fun. I hope you guys can join us on Monday for that.
Yes, join us and help us get the word out. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell the whole community they need to tune in. Help us build support for it. We'd appreciate it.
Of course. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. And we will be back next week at this time for more Heroes versus Villains.
Can't wait. We'll see you guys then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.